Hi everybody, this is Joy with Joy Wilson Inc. Welcome back to the channel. I just want to thank you for being here with me today. I am bringing you a project from Maker Forte, showcasing the Dear to Me die set on an easy ink blended Distress Oxide background. Right now on the screen you can see me die cutting the Dear to Me die set. I am so excited about this because it cut like butter. I'm seriously, I'm over the moon with how easy this cut out. And right now you can see me weeding it out with the pokey tool from Maker Forte. Now I'm getting ready to blend my inks, and it's really important to know that I started out with just a very, very simple blend. I just cut it down quickly, kind of dirty. I wasn't worried about the perfect blend, but I am using Ripe Persimmon, Antique Linen, Evergreen Bell, Chipped Sapphire, Black Soot to create this. And you'll just see me going back and forth with each of the colors multiple times, which I highly recommend because you're going to get a seamless blend. And the goal of this is when you go between each color that you actually make a third color in between. So you just have this just beautiful night sky. And if you'll notice on the screen, I'm using orange and green. And orange and green typically don't go together because they create mud. But because I use the Antique Linen, which is more of a yellow undertone, I was able to get by with the greens. And then to deepen my greens, I used Chipped Sapphire just to create the night sky. And I wasn't 100% happy with it, so I darkened it a little bit with Black Soot. But you'll see that it comes together really well, and once you get the dye on top of it, it just becomes a fabulous, fabulous night sky. So I'm just curious, do you like creating night skies, or what kind of ink blending do you like to do? I'd love to know. If you could leave me a comment down below, I would appreciate it. And I'd like to take a second just to ask you to, if you like the video, to like it and consider subscribing. Since I am a new channel, it'll help me get seen more often. I'm not a new crafter, but I am new to this, and I'm guessing you've kind of figured that out with my voice, that it took a lot of courage to even start a channel. So I hope you'll consider that. Now you're going to see me coming back through with the Chipped Sapphire, and then I'm going to continue to blend throughout with the Evergreen Bough, going back through each of the colors for my final blend. While I finish the blending, I'm going to let the music play. After blending the background with the Distress Oxides, I then splattered it with white watercolor from Dr. P.H. Martin's. It's a bleed-proof watercolor. And now I'm getting ready to prepare to stamp the sentiment on the inside of the card. I am using the pre-cut slimline card bases from Maker Forte, which happens to be on a 110-pound cardstock that they carry. For my sentiment, I'm using the newly released box sentiments, and I'm stamping the happy birthday using my Misty and an acetate with grid lines on it. To stamp the sentiment, I'm using the Eclipse Color Hive ink from Maker Forte, which is new to me, but I love it. And I think it's great. You can see up there now that I'm making sure, since that it's black, that I am going to wipe the part that I kind of overstamp, so that way I don't get it onto my cardstock. That's always just a really good tip to use. I just used a baby wipe, but you could use any type of cloth that you might have, and you'll see that I get a really good impression. But I did go down for a second just to make sure that it was just super dark and crisp, because that's how I prefer my sentiments. I don't know about you, but that's kind of where I go with that. In hindsight, I should have used the ink smushing tool from Maker Forte instead of my fist, and I probably wouldn't have had to go down a second time. Another tip is I always dry my sentiments, even though I'm using dye ink, which dries quickly. I just don't like black ink to smear. So that's just a little tip that I want to throw in there. Now I'm fidgeting with the way that the black die cut's gonna go onto the pad. So I cut my background down to I think it was 8 1/4 by 3 1/4. Just to prepare it to put it onto the card base. Now you'll see that I'm using my Barely Art glue just very sparingly throughout to mount the Dear to Me die set onto the front focal point. Don't you just love that night sky? I never would have dreamed that a orange and green would show up so much now. I'm going to tell you that I lost half of my footage, so you're going to see that the final picture actually shows that the background is backwards, is different, and that's because I made 2 cards, but I wanted you to see everything. Anyhow, I am popping up my panel onto foam with foam tape, and then I always seem to never get anything on straight, so I use a little bit more Barely Art glue to go ahead and get some wiggle room. That way I can get my panel on as straight as possible onto the slimline card base. I think that turned out pretty nicely, especially for me doing it on camera, because I like to fidget a whole lot, and I like to be standing up and my head over the panel. So I'm kind of proud of myself that I made that work. And now you're going to see me using the pokey tool again. I just forgot to take out one of that little side thing. Now I'm using some clear glue from Maker Forte, and I am preparing the trees with just the edges so that I can apply glitter. Now I don't know about you, but I think a glitter is the herpes of the crafting world. So it's a big deal for me to break this out, but I just love the results in the end. But I hope that made you laugh, because it really is. It's a big deal for me to use glitter. You should see my desk right now. It is absolutely covered in everything. My husband's going to walk in and he's just going to crack up. I'm sure he's going to bring me a Swiffer so that I can clean my desk and my floor, even though I try my hardest to keep it contained. It just, for me, it isn't possible. I'm not a neat crafter. So anyway, that's just a little bit about me. I'm sure that you guys have a better way to do it, but not me. I just get it everywhere. It's in my hair. It's on my face. It's just pretty much anywhere. And I hope you're laughing at this point. I mean, why not, right? So anyhow, I am still I cannot believe I'm still fidgeting with this glue. as I'm sitting here talking to you. But uh, you'll see here in a minute that I do take a spare sheet of copy paper so that I can use it as a funnel for the glitter. But like I said, even though that makes most of it, go back into the jar, it's still a mess for me because I am just not a neat person. So I'm sprinkling it on lightly, and you're going to see me trying to tap this off as much as possible, and then I'll funnel it back into the jar for Maker Forte, and that is the Moon Dust glitter. If you're wondering, it's a very fine glitter, and what I like about this product is it is biodegradable, and I think that is fantastic, so that when it hits our landfills, it hits our seas, we don't have to worry about what it's going to do to this earth on a long-term basis. And now you're going to see me using a fine detail brush from Maker Forte to clean up some more of the glitter, just so that it's not sitting there on the card forever. And don't you just love that shine? Can you see it already? I just think it's fabulous. I think I'm going to show it to you here. Yep, there it is. And you'll see that my background is upside down from where it was, because that was the original card. So have a good one, and thank you for watching.